Flawless sons and daughters, still with faces, midnights, they pop, blood mercy is for days, not living wrong, waiting for the day working, my young is set up, this small, flawless sons and his daughters, still with faces, midnights, they pop, blood mercy is for days, not living wrong, waiting for this working, my young is set up.
Desperate level to have to go and obtain drugs from somewhere. Before we even get there, we'll just deal with the aftermath that the drugs are there. Who would drive? Hold on. Who would drive themselves to go get it and use it? And who would drive themselves, or what's the cause that would drive somebody to go get it and sell it to somebody to use it that looks just like that?
There's many different causes.
Give me one.
I'll give you one that y'all love.
No. Not to use it. Maybe to sell it.
Use it when you're trying to escape things.
Escape what?
Escape poverty.
Again, people aren't smoking crack because they're poor.
They're selling things. They're selling their wealth.
Hold on. I just said to sell it might be a cause, right?
Sure.
Poverty. Poverty might be the cost of selling it. What would be the cost of using it? Nobody sits around saying, "Oh my God, I'm just so poor. I need to go give me some crack." If you're poor, how do you get crack? What? What I'm saying is, just because you now added a different word to it, you're saying poverty is a reason. And I'm telling you that, because you said you know people that have gotten shot by your friends in the hood, got shot by black people. Do you know any of your friends, family members, loved ones, whatever, that smoke crack because they're poor?
They never smoke crack.
So you don't know anybody that smokes crack? Do you know anybody that knows anybody that smokes crack? Have you ever heard any testimony that they do so because they're poor?
No, I don't deal with it.
Because that's so. But you're giving me. If you don't deal with it, recognize you're giving me an answer to a question that I'm asking you. And if you don't know that question, then this will opens the whole conversation as to what you're trying to ignore. There is a residual theme. There has been a consecutive sequence of events that leads to people being so broken and in despair, and they then start to experience such pain. And if you want to go and say poverty, where did this poverty come from?
Just economic problems.
Like what?
Regulations.
Right? And so how does that
Disinvestment from the community.
hold on. Wait. Disinvestment in the community, economic problems, so on and so forth. Why is it targeting one demographic of people more than another?
Why is it targeting?
Why?
I would say, and it's not more than another.
It is, because it's disproportionately affecting the black community than anybody else.
Trailer Park is just as far as the urban region.
No. Thank you. Come on. We're not sitting here telling you that there are no poor white people. We can go and find a homeless white person.
What I'm saying is, there's a different culture. The whole set of drugs is different than Trailer Park community.
Now plug that into what we usually talk about. It's like when I ask you something, you just branch off and start talking about give me some random facts that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. Why is the economic problems that's causing poverty and striking up pain in people that's causing them to either use or deal drugs? Why is that economic problem affecting one demographic of people more? You brought up the trailer park, but then you countered that to say, yeah, but the poor or the poverty-stricken black community is bigger than all the trailer parks in America combined.
I wouldn't say it's the black community or it's the white community, because all I had to do was leave that community.
Is the
right?
What is the poorest community? What's the poorest demographic of people in America right now? It's the African American community. Poverty, right? So me and you agree that poverty is hitting the so-called black Americans more than any other demographic in the country.
Time for y'all to speak.
We agree on that? Okay. You said poverty is as a result of economic problems. Why are these economic problems affecting black people more than anybody else?
Look at the top 10 cities in the black community. It is the regulation, it's disinvestment. It's not just innocent time.
Who's de-investing?
We are disinvested from our own community.
When were we ever investing in our communities? To then de-invest? Oklahoma was one community. And then, hold on.
You asked me what?
No. Hold on.
That's one.
No. I said, where was the investment for us to then de-invest? De-invest. You have to understand these are never our communities in the first place.
You go back to 1920. Even if you go back, even if you go back to 10 years after slavery, okay, the Civil War,
Right.
had the lowest unemployment rate, okay? We were working.
There was no unemployment rate at that time.
We were building communities. And then you hear an argument of like, okay, when they intermix the economies that caused like the back economy.
Wait. Because I was about to say that.
Yeah.
You brought up the 1920s, right? Guess what? In the 1920s, we're almost at 90. We're right at 90% of the black community under the poverty line.
Yeah.
Below poverty.
Yeah.
20 years later, in 1940, it's still around 85, 87%.
No, it went up to 60.
No. What you're talking about in 1960, it drops and cuts in half to 47%.
And the literacy rate doubled. Hold on.
Only thing we're doing is we're just going down the line. So what ended up happening from the time of 1960 into 2023, where we see this poverty-stricken cocaine selling and using community? How does that then happen?
How does that happen?
What are the forces of event? You have to understand, when you lay a premise, all I'm doing is following you.
You can follow me.
1920, 90% under the poverty line of black community. 20 years later, 1940, we're about 87%. Then there's an economic boom in the black community within the next 20 years, and it drops to 47%. But you're telling me, and this is in 1960, this is 80 years ago.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Or excuse me, this is 60 years ago.
Alright, fellas, y'all out, man. Good game, y'all. Bro.
I got one more in me, then I gotta lay it down.
Same here. Alright, can y'all hear me?
One more.
Alright. I'm camping right next to y'all. Griswold.
Explain relative poverty and how it applies to what we're talking about.
You have a community next to another community. It's not that someone's not eating or something like that. It's not that you're dying of starvation. It's that
That would be.
I'm sorry, you have relative poverty.
Oh, come on. Stop that shit. Can't. Both of my messages. Yo, ass. Alright, niggas, man.
And to be able to generate data to say somebody is at the poverty line.
Why gotta be a brother? Why gotta be a brother though?
Huh?
I said, why gotta be a brother talking like that?
What are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you saying?
Cap saving.
Huh?
Cap
I take that
saving.
back on man. I never played Grow House. This is cool. This is one of the matches you play on a rank. Yeah? Yeah. Is it a big level or no? There's some Canadians.
Listen, this is what we're going to do. We have to reverse engineer this conversation so that you understand what we're coming from. When it matters,
Ooh, Lady Beast.
He asked you a question. He said something about the rape, robbery, murder, and disrespect that the so-called white men have done to black people. You ignored that question and said, well, what do we do to ourselves? You said, who does more? Is
Throw that guy.
Done to us that we have not done to ourselves. And then I told her, I asked you a question. I said, so you saying that they've done the same thing? He says, listen, when you go to the hood, I'm running down the question, the conversation. He said, when you go to the hood, are you scared of white people or black people? I said, I'm scared of black people. Because it's not the fact
Dog, turn that shit
Hey,
off.
turn that shit down, bro.
then we start talking
Fuck
about
you
why
out. Mute him.
puts us in such a position to make us against each other, sell dope to each other, XYZ.
You still haven't got to what?
No, you have not. What is causing it?
No, what are you trying to get at?
No.
I'm telling you that the conditions.
I already said poverty.
All I did was when you put poverty on the table, I walked with you. If it's poverty, who's causing the poverty? When you want to talk about the civil
We're doing it.
Hold on, you took us all the way back to 18. You took us all the way back to 1873, 75. You said 10 years after slavery.
And by saying, oh, well, 2023, so I take you back to 1920, which was more racist at that time. So how were we doing better? How were we doing better as a community then?
No. Listen, where's Amawan at? Amawan. You're conservative, correct? You're conservative, correct? Republican. Hey, listen, we was having a conversation about conservatives, right? Pretty much your stance is that when we invested into the community, we stopped being entrepreneurs, right? We stopped valuing education. In our communities that are suffering from poverty, right?
Yeah.
He said, so what you're going to say is that we stop investing in education.
Choice in the city.
No school choice. We stop investing in education. We stop following Judeo-Christian values, right?
Yeah, that.
Do you follow Judeo-Christian values? Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
No, understand. So saying all of that to say, you're saying this is the reason why we're suffering and having such issues, right? And then you brought up school choice. Who's affecting our ability to choose whatever school we go to? You said regulations. Now, who's in charge of such regulations? Democrats, right? No. I already knew he was going to go there. I already knew he was going to go there. No. I was about to say, you got to understand something what he's saying, and I actually follow. To a degree.
We both turn this shit down before I knock you out.
His premise is patriotism. That's your foundation. You're patriotic. That's why when you walked up, you said, "Oh, you're about America." He's like, yeah, I am. Because as a conservative, as a Republican, it's patriotism. And if we're dealing with patriotism, they're saying everything that you have to say against this country, which you're going to place on general across the board white people, he's like, no, it's actually Republicans. It's actually Democrats. It's not the Republicans.
That's left-wing, right-wing stuff.
It's fine.
No. Here's my thing.
Black and white.
No. Here's my thing. Watch this stuff. It took us back to the Civil War, right? Were there black people fighting on the side of keeping themselves in slavery?
There were Native
On the southern side.
There were Native Americans.
Were there blacks? Negro, yes. Fighting on the side of the South.
Yeah.
They were fighting on the Confederate side. Do you think that they were voluntarily doing that? Do you think that they went into that with knowledge and understanding that I'm fighting this war to keep myself on a plantation and in slavery?
They were promised.
They were manipulated.
Hold on. So that means. So if I ask you a question,
even believe it.
So if I ask you a question that,
Like, you gotta think.
were they aware? And you say yes, they were aware, but then you turn around and say that they were aware.
Some of them were aware.
Aware of what?
Aware that they were fighting to enslave their own people. That's
No, to enslave themselves.
Right?
Listen.
Wait, to enslave themselves.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe there was a promise.
Do you think that that's a intellectually healthy perspective and mindset to go and fight a war to keep yourself in slavery?
I would say.
Do you think that that's healthy mentally?
I would say for some of them, it's a self.
Do you think that that's mentally healthy to fight on the side of the war to keep you in slavery? Would you ever do it?
People are selfish.
Would you ever fight a war that's going to keep you on a plantation in chains and whipped and force you to work all damn day for nothing, for slop, to get fed with a damn spoon
And most,
in your hand.
and most of the time, those brothers were doing that stuff because they didn't want to be killed.
It's called Stockholm. Are you familiar with what Stockholm syndrome is? Right? It's developing an affinity for your captor as a means of survival because you know that if you rebel, then there's consequences that come with it. So people fighting on the side of the Civil War to even put us in position to be patriotic, because right after the Civil War or during the time of the Reconstruction era is where black people even got involved in politics because they were trying to advocate and push for laws that was going to protect us while we stay in a country that has been built on our enslavement. You see how that doesn't make any sense? Again, if I ask you, it's like you don't give me an answer. Would you be enslaved in a country for hundreds of years? Hold on. Would you be in a country enslaved for hundreds of years, and now they allegedly let you off the plantation? Are you going to stay in this country and say, well, I'm going to fight for rights? Are you?
Aren't we all doing that?
No. I'm here because
The fight
no.
for the rights.
Hell no. Hell no. And that's what, now, you said you believe in Judeo-Christian values, right? Don't you know, according to the Judeo-Christian values, it says that you have to examine a matter first before you then speak on it. So you can't say we're out here fighting for the rights of anybody, because we're not.
The rights of yourselves, the rights of your
We're not. We're not. I'm fighting for the liberation of the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, and I'm calling for the justice of Black, Hispanic, and Native
in
Indian.
this country, right?
No. In the world.
You're not in
The entire planet Earth. Hold on.
all are not. All are here.
Y'all, like, talking about just me in particular? Or are you talking about my group?
The Sakari.
Sakari is international, sir.
Yes.
Yes, Sakari is in Africa, sir.
Yes. Y'all group.
Our group is in Africa, yes.
This group here. Use certification.
But it's something called an organization. It branches further than just
But
the boardwalk of
your
Mission
fight
Beach.
is here.
No. It's not a fight.
And you're not worried about Africa right now because you're here
Why am I not?
speaking to us.
Why am I not?
You're speaking to us. You're not here in Africa.
Well, what I'm saying is that I'm speaking to you because you're right here in front of me.
Yes.
But no. Just because I'm here speaking to you in America doesn't mean I'm here arguing the causes of America.
Because you care about my liberation and the liberation of other people.
Hold on. I am here having a conversation with you to proclaim the liberation that's coming to the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians and the justice that is coming. I'm not here petitioning. I'm not here trying to sit up here and call for what needs to be done. I'm here to proclaim what is going to be done. It's a difference. That's why you say when you're sitting here fighting for the rights, I'm not fighting for anybody's rights. Because this place is never going to give me any rights that I actually deserve anyway. Right? You a Judeo-Christian as well?
I'm a biblical Christian.
Biblical Christian. I say Judeo-Christian because you understand that this concept of the Bible comes from a God, the God of the Jews.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so we understand that. What does justice look like for you guys? If we talked about justice for what has been done in this place, we don't have to talk about Africa. Let's keep it simple here. Now we're talking about here. The injustice is done here. What does justice look like for you guys?
Justice.
For black people.
For black people?
Justice for black people. Do you think that they deserve it?
100%.
Right? Both of you guys say they deserve it. What does it look like? Demonstrate, just give me a brief synopsis.
That's what it looks like. Wyoming.
Okay, tell me about Wyoming and why is that justice?
Small government, freedom. I own my property. They don't tell
you don't
me
own your
what
property.
to do. They don't tell me. Yeah, I pay property tax.
You do not own your property.
But as compared to
No, but here's my thing. Do you see that? Remember, they were supposed to give us freedom. Where's the 40 acres and a mule? I don't even like using that, but you go to property. It's like, you see what I'm saying? So I don't even like using that because it's like, that's a part of the promise that was made during the Reconstruction era, right after the Civil War. When the North won the war, they went in and started making all of these promises to these newly alleged freed slaves. And 150 years later, they have still not made good. Why would you want any black person to be patriotic to a land or to a government, to a system that has not even made good on their promises? Are you heterosexual? Would you stay with a woman that keeps making promises to you? She just keeps fucking you over and over again? And you just gonna stick with her because she made the promise back when y'all first got together? After you first caught her cheating? After you first caught her? in bed with another man, she says, I promise, baby, I promise, I promise. She's never made good on that promise. You gonna stick with her?
No.
Why do you do that with America?
77.
Why do you want black people to do that with America?
Why would I want? I was never made a promise.
Yes, you were.
My ancestors. Maybe my ancestors were. I wasn't.
Hold on.
So what I asked for is freedom. I got that. In a red state. Here, I know y'all ain't got that.
Wait.
Okay, now.
Terry, I get that.
So wait.
So why would I want? I wouldn't want.
You don't even sound like a Republican. Republicans don't want freedom. Republicans are conservatives. They want to be ran and orchestrated by morals and values, and they want those things to influence the law.
Alright, bro, I'm not seeing you right now.
That's not freedom. No. You gotta say something.
Alright, y'all be easy, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's not freedom.
No.
Freedom.
What's your name, bro? Taz.
Okay.
Taz and Tay. Watch this. We agree. I'm not trying to condemn you for having a conservative perspective. I'm more so along the lines of conservative. I'm just not a patriot, so I'm not going to choose Democrat or Republican because I have no political interest in the furtherance of this country. I want this country to be destroyed. Because that's what you do with corrupt. That's what you do with corrupt and molded and destroyed places. What you're trying to do is you're trying to turn a hoe into a housewife, and you can't do it. She's been shaking ass, selling ass, and giving it away since she has been able. And now she's grown, and you think she's so pretty. And because of her experiences with so many different men, she has a great personality. But you think you're finna take her out of those streets, and you're gonna bring her home and put an apron around her waist, and then turn her into a domestic individual. She's not. She's going to be humping on your neighbor. She's going to be humping on your brother. And shit, nowadays, she might even try to hump on your mom or your damn sister.
She a hoe.
She's a hoe? For sure.
What happens
And America's a hoe.
when you got 50 of them?
50
And
what?
there's one of them that's a virgin. Ain't never forced no mask mandate. Ain't never forced nobody to
It's Wyoming, boy. What is it?
That's
Trying to sell Wyoming.
Get it?
boy.
I want you to understand something.
Oh my!
Is Wyoming still subject to federal law? Yes or
You're gonna
no?
love this. You're gonna love this. In Wyoming, federal agents can't enforce gun laws.
Is Wyoming subject to federal law?
In some ways.
So,
But that's what the government. That's
I
what
want
the
you to
government's
I want you to understand
That's
something.
what the state
Hold on,
government
because we got off. I want you to understand something. I'm not arguing.